At today's sentence hearing, Ashling Murphy said as a parent you want your child to go into the world and lead a full and meaningful life, while also being aware of how fragile their safety is. Seen here after Jozef Puska was convicted of Ashling's murder last week. She told the court she couldn't protect their dream daughter from an evil monster, and now she was gone forever. Amy Murphy, in her victim impact evidence, said her little sister grew to become the soil that kept their family and friends nourished with positivity, humour and hope, with her mother's warm smile and her father's cheeky wit and wink. She spoke of her siblings' love of life, of music, of teaching her first-class pupils, a young woman who drove her late granddad's red car with pride. Ryan Casey described their many happy years together as a young couple, and of their many plans for the future, which have so cruelly been taken from them. He said he would never get to marry his soulmate and could not describe the pain of losing the most important person in his life, especially, he said, in such a horrific, senseless and just beyond evil act by such an insignificant, lowest of the low, waste of life. He said, I feel like this country is no longer the country that Ashling and I grew up in and has officially lost its innocence when a crime of this magnitude can be perpetrated in broad daylight. Amy said it was hard to imagine her sister's bright personality being diminished strike by strike with each stab wound when her sister was randomly attacked by Puska along the Grand Canal outside Tullamore on January 12th last year. The court heard Ashling's pink fiddle case now lies at the family home covered in dust. Amy said it served as the harshest and cruelest reminder they would never play together again and how fragile this life truly was. She said this monster trespassed into our lives and stole the person most important to us in the most unforgivable way. As her mother said, Jozef Puska should never see the light of day again. As he sentenced the defendant to the mandatory term of life in prison, Mr. Justice Tony Hunt said if he had the power under law, a whole life order would have been considered in the case.
Well, let's get more on today's sentencing hearing now and talk to our courts correspondent, Deborah Naylor. And Deborah, there was only one sentence the judge could impose.
That's correct, Ashling. Mr. Justice Tony Hunt had no discretion in sentencing whatsoever. Tonight, Jozef Puska begins his life sentence for murder, but he will be eligible for a parole, or he will be seen by a parole board in 12 years' time. And the judge said it was long past time that judges had a say in setting what minimum terms should be. And Mr. Hunt said unless Puska's motive for doing what he did becomes known, then the question of his safe return to society should remain an open one, and he delivered those remarks before telling prison officers to take him away. The judge praised the extraordinary dignity of the Murphy family throughout these proceedings, and these sentiments were echoed by investigating Gardaí.
The courage, the dignity, the resilience and the strength that they have shown during this ordeal has been exemplary. I want to assure them on behalf of An Garda Síochána that we will continue to support them going forward and give them all the support we can where necessary. Finally, I would like to repeat the family's request for privacy around this time as they continue to process the enormity of the murder and the loss of Ashling. May she rest in peace.
Well, the Murphy family today delivered poignant and powerful victim impact evidence, and it's impossible to do justice to that without listening to it in full in court, but they gave a real sense of the richness of Ashling's life and the void left by her death. And Ashling Murphy said that she begged her daughter not to run along the canal line that day, but she said that Ashling did nothing wrong. She said her daughter was the chief organiser in their house, the thoughtful one, the one who filled their house with the sound of music every night, and she said she would still be there had she not come upon Jozef Puska. And Ryan Casey called his girlfriend's killer the epitome of evil, while Amy said today that this country had lost someone who made a difference.